Grand Rising, beautiful, melanated, original, whatever you respectfully call yourself, people.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Okay, I think I have my I think I have my audio back. Oh my goodness. StreamYard is a trip. But Grand Rising, beautiful, melanated, original, whatever you respectfully call yourself, people. I just wanted to talk to y'all while I'm on my way to work. No, I wear my red. This is not just for no Trump or nothing. I just got red uniforms. If you look at my logo, you'll see that it's red because it's two berries in the broom. So, anyway, I just wanted to come in here and talk to you about what do we do from here. Trump is elected. Okay. We needed somebody that was going to come in here and stop all this corruptness of the deep state. I felt like it took a white man to fight the white man. Now with Kamala, I have no problem with Kamala, except for you shouldn't have cosplayed in our face. You should have listened to what black people wanted if you wanted the black vote. It was an insult, and I think that's why a lot of black people did not vote. Or a lot of black people did not do nothing. It was an insult because you came out singing and dancing for us instead of giving us policies. Kamala said she wasn't going to do anything that was only going to benefit black people, but she did something that only benefited Israel, only benefited Ukraine only benefited people who were illegal immigrants, and we keep playing this game. These people played in our face. The Democrats lost not only the presidential seat, they lost the House and the Senate. This should open up the Democratic eyes. What we as black people need to be doing is that we need to either decide if we're going to go third party together, or if we're going to or if the Democratic Party is going to actually put people and policies in place that directly help our people. We don't need this game no more. This was eye opener. It was karma for the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party played in our face while we see them helping everybody else. I've been seeing all this mess. Grand Rising Queen, I've been seeing all this mess with the Democrats are just flat out mad because we didn't go as the no-brainer voters to the poll to vote them in when we see that our communities are being ran over by illegal immigrants that they were giving food stamps to, while they make fun of black people for having food stamps when majority of the people who on food stamps were white tea people. You opened up schools that you closed down in black neighborhoods. You opened up community centers that you gave to them. You made sure they had food, housing, and shelter. Now, I don't know if y'all seen in New York, now that the governor of New York is talking to Trump, they were giving these people $350 a piece for food stamps because they said it was costing New York too much money to feed them, and it was wasting food because our culture food wasn't the same as theirs. So to appease these immigrants, they gave them $350 a week for each family. They was giving them $350 a week to appease them because they were saying it was costing them too much because they was wasting the food that we were giving them. First of all, they shouldn't have been here getting any food. And second of all, you should have been taking care of your damn veterans that's on the street and making sure they had housing and food before you got an immigrant to make sure that you gave them something. So because you wanted to, you were saying it was costing more because they were wasting the food. They refused to eat the food. We've seen the videos when they complain about the jobs they wanted. They complain about their living conditions when they were living better than most of the black people and most of the black and white, most of the Americans who have put their time in America. And these immigrants were getting the benefits that should have been given to the average American who has paid their dues. Let's give an example. Some of the veterans are on the street. These people talking about whether it's make America great again or thank God for America and all this stuff. These veterans fought wars. These veterans signed up to put their life on the line. And at the end, when they were used up by America, they were put on the streets because they can't afford things or they need mental health. People heard the stories about veterans, yet they would not, America wasn't making sure every person who signed up as a veteran, every person who was a veteran, they didn't make sure they had housing or nothing. My father was a veteran, helped with y'all wars. And when my father passed, because he didn't sign a paper because he was so sick, me and my brother didn't get insurance, but my father served the country. I can show you pictures. So America didn't care. And a lot of our policies that's written against us and a lot of stuff that's happened was voted on with the Democrats. If they can give immigrants, oh, this car, you see this truck? I should have let them hit me so I can damn sue them. Like, why would you got a wide load and come up there? Either which way. Peace, Grand Rising, Bronze Flower Pot, Kathy. There are benefits for the vets, but yes, like Kathy said, there are benefits for the vets, but we're not informed. You are correct. But most of the time, they make you jump through hoops and all this to get the benefits that they just handed to the immigrants. The excuse that New York gave is that their cultural food wasn't the same, so they just gave them the money to buy their own food because it was costing them money. But buying their own food, they shouldn't have been here. You wouldn't have had to waste money. And now, Grand Rising, Rashid Holmes, Grand Rising, Bronze Flower Pot, it shouldn't have been. Why are we questioning? These people gave billions out. With that money, we complaining about reparations. They could have gave every person, even white people, they could have gave every American $1 million to get on their feet. You know, they complain about Americans being on food stamps. You'll hear a lot of white tea people, even though majority of them are on benefits. You'll hear Americans complaining about Section 8 and food stamps, which most of Americans barely use it. Food stamps don't even put a dent in what they spend out in these other countries, right? But they wouldn't give it to Americans. So what we need to do as black people is really look at everything. Get out your feelings. Get out your feelings and start looking. If they were able to do all this stuff, they're able to help Americans. Black people, your voice was heard. Black men, shout out to you for really standing up. Black women that did wake up, shout out to you because this was a protest. This is the biggest protest, and they don't want to say it on the news. They don't want to admit it because I was part of it too. I went and voted because I wanted the Democratic Party to see that we are not your dumb, uneducated, no brain, desperate for attention black people. The Democratic Party, every policy, and you could go look it up. I'm so tired of our people. Every policy and everything that's been written that has affected the black community was written under the Democratic leadership. I ain't saying the Republicans just love black people and do this, but they don't just get in office and go after us. They just get in office and do whatever they got to do for their people, as you can see now. Trump is electing a lot of people into office. He's building his cabinet. I don't see any black people being there, but that's what usually what happens is that the person that's in power is going to basically reach out to the people that's in their circle. Most white people in their circle is surrounded by white people. That's why most black people who turn their black backs on the struggle or pretend that nothing is happening to black people in America, they sink in with those people who are surrounded by predominantly white people. When you have a black leader, if we wanted Kamala to be in there, I didn't see Kamala surrounded by black people. You see what I'm saying? If the Democratic Party wants to give us a black leader, give us a full black leader. Give us a black leader that understands our struggle, that gives us something to go back home with when we go to that voting poll. Right now, it was detrimental for Trump to get in there because we need to stop with all this pouring our money into a Democratic Party that was pouring that same money into everybody but the black communities. You know what they pour in our communities? The police, policies that punish us for being poor. See, they sitting up here. Look at. I want you to just woosah for a minute and look at it. Black people are punished for being poor. If you get food stamps, we laugh at each other. They give us maybe a couple of $100. They make sure that we don't have anything. When the CIA, see, Trump is talking about deep state. When the CIA dump guns and drugs in our community, and that is affecting our community to this day, Biden and I think Thurman or whatever, they went in and created the crime bill. They punished us. But as in white people, whitey people, when they started overdosing on opioids and all that stuff, you know what they got? They got to sue the doctors that prescribed them. They got to sue pharmaceuticals, and they got rehab, and they getting money back. When they poured crack in our neighborhoods, we got to be laughed at. We got to be the symbols of comedy. We got to be the welfare queens and kings. Look at the difference. We got time. They took jobs and stuff away. They gave us prison time. Every time it comes down to the black people, all they do is say more cops, more prison. The schools, they give us education, but then they bring the cops in, they make it hard, and then they give us a school to prison pipeline. I wanted Trump to get in there so it can be destroyed, because the only way to destroy white power is by white power. Rashad Holmes said the Democrats didn't win because they are part of the devil. They don't believe in creating life. You correct. White peeps like his son, Crackhead Jr., get no jail time for using crack. Correct. Everybody was all up in the worrying about Kamala being black, but we not looking at the guts of it. They want us to vote by symbolism and emotions. Oh, yay! We were going to have a black woman in there, a black woman who never lived in the streets of black people, among black people. A black woman who they claim was black, where her black roots go back to India. Her daddy roots, just because he said he was Jamaican, he was only in Jamaica because his father was a colonizer. So it showed me where her black roots are besides having black in her skin. Me and you, like I'm going to work right now. I'm not, like I said before, disclaimer, this is part of my uniform. My shirts was red years ago. My symbol is 2 berries in a broom, and I wear red. So this is not just for Trump, okay? This is a dinosaur sticker that my grandson gave me. But our roots, we know each day that we are struggling each day to pay rent and bills and stuff. All this money we see our government giving out, what are we going to do? Are we going to get together and back that third party? Because I was going to vote for other people, but it didn't make no sense, because that's what the Democrats wanted. Because if we vote for other people, they still had a slight chance. Just think about it. They said if you don't vote, that's a vote for Trump. So if nobody don't vote, then why wasn't it a vote for Kamala? If they say we the minority, think about it. That's why I changed my name to Tina Berry Speaks, because I want to talk to my people. I want you to think about what's being said and dissect it before living through your emotions. If they can say, if you didn't vote, that was a vote for Trump. Well, if you didn't, why can't Trump them say, if you don't vote, that was a vote for Kamala? Because somewhere in there, you are the minority black people. That's why Kamala spent billions. Do you know they're trying to sue her now because the people who donated was told that they was guaranteed that she was going to be elected, because they was guaranteeing that you were going to be the same old shucking and jiving slave mentality, not thinking about politics, not knowing what you want, letting them lie to you, and they was guaranteeing that they were going to get the black vote because the black vote carries weight. Did you see them bring out a Latino singer? Did you see them bring out a Latino singer doing the salsa to get the Latino votes? Now everybody mad with black people talking about, oh, I can't believe this, I can't believe that. Why y'all ain't did that with the Mexicans? I mean the Hispanic. Why y'all ain't getting on to the Hispanic men for voting? Did you see them bring out, Kamala's whole campaign was based on her being black. So that should tell black people it's enough of us to create a third party where we can get in there and then do like Trump is doing now, select our cabinet. Get the black people that is going to really get after black issues. Get black people in there where we can fill these seats once again, because I don't know. I'm going to give y'all a little piece of history. I don't know if y'all know, after slavery, black people are the ones who built this. That's why they say black people were Republicans first. Everybody was a Republican. Everybody was the Republican. There was nobody. The Dixiecrats, the Democrats came in and made us leave what we were and created this Democratic Party. They were never originally part of the government. There was only three branches of the government. The electoral, the executive branch, the judicial branch, and um, oh dang it, the executive branch, the judicial branch, and the branch with the House of Representatives and the senators. There was only three branches, and then the legislative branch. Now the legislative branch was divided into two: the House of Representatives and the Senate. That's why you see the Senate, because they actually vote on the major things. And then inside the Senate and the House of Representatives is where you have the seat. That's where your Congress is. Your judicial branch is where your Supreme Court is. So those people don't do nothing but judge. The Supreme Court sits in the judicial branch. But when you hear Congress and you got your representatives, that's the legislative branch. Three branches: executive branch, legislative branch, and the judicial branch. The legislative branch consists of the House of Representatives, which you got two, I think, or more, depending on how big your state is. There's more or whatever. It's two or more, depending on how big your state is, that represents your community. Grand Rising. The House of Representatives represents your community. That means you got people from your state that's supposed to go up to represent you. This government has nobody. See, Maxine Waters, she's in California. Soon as these black people get in these offices, they forget who the F they represent. Grand Rising, Mind Games, Juju B, Black Love. They forget who they represent. So when you have a house of people that's supposed to be in the House of Representatives, they supposed to be in Congress, up there in the White House, representing you, fighting for you. They don't do that. When these black people get up there, they forget that we were out here working every day. That's why the Democrats lost, because they couldn't relate with the everyday worker. Then you got the Senate. The Senate is the most powerful branch in the government, even though you think it's the president. No. The Senate has two senators that represent you from each state. Then in the Senate, you got the highest Senate, I forgot what it's called. That's what Kamala was. The vice president is over the Senate. That vice president casts the tie-breaking vote when they bring bills or legislation up and they vote on whether this is going to be passed or not. So Kamala, every bill that Biden was putting through, because the Democrats had the Senate. They had the presidential election. They had the presidential seat in the Senate. So they worked hand in hand. That's why all this mess was going on with the immigrants. And then what was a slap in the face is when they started bringing the drag queens into the school to talk to your kids. They was passing these laws to tell your children that if you a little boy, even though you can't smoke cigarettes, because we don't think that your mind is still developing, even though you can't buy alcohol because your mind's still developing up until age 21, you can tell your teacher that you think you a girl or a boy, and they could go ahead and start administering gender hormone pills to change the gender, puberty blockers, so that the boy voice won't get strong as a man when he grow up, or so a woman won't develop into a woman. This stuff was passed through the Democratic Party, and that's why I voted, because right now I didn't need to vote for a woman who says she black, who never lived a black experience and told us with her own words that she wasn't going to do nothing that benefit only black people, but she used Biden to get the Asian protection bill passed because she ran as an Asian Indian woman before anything. You got Maxine Waters and all these people that's sitting in these Democratic seats mad now, saying the reason why Kamala didn't get elected is because of misogyny, because they think that they ain't ready for a woman. But yet Hillary Clinton got everybody vote. Hillary Clinton got my vote. That none of this mess was going on when Hillary was going on, when Hillary was elected. You got AOC crying and complaining that everything is racist now. Imagine we are the ones living and working every day, telling everybody the police is unaliving us. It's not fair. We are not getting jobs. We're not getting opportunities. You could barely run a business. When Trump came in before, they tell me, oh, Trump gave you a stimulus. Blah, blah, blah. No, before the Biden Inflation Act, let me go back. During Trump's reign, black people were opening up businesses left and right. Biden and the Democratic Party knew that. See, the Democratic Party has ran on keeping black people at the bottom so they can bring in their foreign friends and we buy their goods. We shouldn't have to buy all these goods from China. We shouldn't have to buy all these goods from China to be worried about tariffs. That's what Trump is saying. Stuff should be here. But Biden them made sure they passed the fencing, the Inflation Act, and a lot more. When that Inflation Act went in place, while they talking about tariffs, they kept Trump tariffs and they raised them. They made sure that everything went up and black people could no longer, the majority of black people could no longer hold on to those new businesses that Trump, with the stimulus money and the PPP money, because they keep talking about fraud. Everything wasn't fraud. So the black people who did have legit businesses and the black people who did have legit needs in building their businesses, Biden made sure that when they voted on the Inflation Reduction Act, what you don't understand is that when that went up, credit scores went up. The SBA, during Trump, if my score was good enough, I would be able to go not after PPP loans, but after SBA loans. Small Business Administration loans. When Biden and Kamala came in there, they knew meticulously what they were doing. Because the whole thing about the Democratic Party is to exclude black people from being able to build generational wealth. The credit score went up. Now you have to have a 650 credit score, damn near almost perfect credit score, to get a business loan from the Small Business Administration. I want y'all to Google it. They're talking about now raising the credit score up to 900. If the credit score was good back then, why do we have to raise it? Because most people who have bad credit are black. So they play this game because that has been the Democratic Party are the old slave masters. We keep talking about Trump. These people that have been in the Senate and the House of Representatives have been there through every president since I was a little girl and before me. These old white people that have been sitting in office are the ones that have been sitting in the Senate passing. But long as you don't understand the government, you're going to keep crying about a president when the president works with the Senate and the House of Representatives. That's why Trump won the election and they talk about Trump, but you're not talking about how they lost the seats of the Senate. Who voted for those people? Those were individual votes. How did they lose the Senate? How did they lose the House? They lost everything. So right now, the White House is red. Kind of symbolism, all the blood that was spilled by black people. By black people and by the police. Because right now, our streets are the jungle, as Biden called us. They purposely did this, and the Democratic Party need to leave. And as black people, we need to be spending these 4 years getting our shit together and stop depending on the Democratic Party. That's what they have wanted. That's why they are mad now. They are mad now. Greetings, DJ Black. They are mad now because they lost, and how did we lose? Let me tell you. This is how you know the Democratic Party have been dividing black people. They got a therapist up there on one of them shows telling black people, if you know that a person voted for Trump and that goes against your will, he's a racist, he's this, but yet Biden is the one that put in the crime bill. The reason why half of our brothers on the street for selling weed is up in jail and prison while white people are running around with dispensaries. Are we in the Twilight Zone? Are we in the Twilight Zone? But either which way, they were telling people they got a psychiatrist on there. And the psychiatrist was telling people, well, if you don't feel comfortable with your person voting for Trump, and you know that they did it against your will, just tell them that you're not going to be wanting to be around them right now. Don't go to Thanksgiving dinners. Separate yourself for the family. That is the next phase of the Democrats separating black people. Remember they did it with the welfare where they brought the black man out the house. Then they turned around and introduced the crime bill so they could take the black man out the house. Now they telling people Trump is a racist, even though he been president before. When he was president, did y'all see any of this happening? Even though they keep talking about Project 2025 that was by the Heritage Fund, they basically backed Kamala, but yet they telling you Trump is racist. Trump was your president before. But they telling black people to separate themselves from their family because they making black people run off of emotions. It makes no sense. When I heard that, that's why I did this video. I was like, enough is enough with these Democrats. Enough is enough with these black people on TV looking at you. When they finish telling you who to vote for, they go home. They ain't got to worry about groceries. They got the good job. They the house slaves. They ain't got to worry about paying car insurance, rent, and everything. I was in the store the other day. A white man looked like he drive a nice car and all this. Guess how much he was putting $7.50 in his gas tank. There's a TikTok going around showing people are struggling. You think that, and then they wanted us to vote for Kamala. Do you think that is that common sense? They telling black people that voted on their best interest, which mainly was black men. Y'all heard it. To tell them this year that you don't know if you want to be around people who voted for Trump. If it's your family, you okay. They got a psychiatrist to get on one of these shows and tell people that if you voted for them, if you don't feel comfortable and you mad, to just go ahead and separate yourself and don't go around your family this holiday season. This is the third win of the Democratic Party separating us. They separated us with the welfare and the projects where the black man couldn't be in the house with the woman and her children if you needed the help. Then they turned around and separated us with the crime bill. Then they turn around and now they separating us because if you voted for Trump, if you voted in your best interest, if you voted for policy instead of symbolism. They don't relate with black people. You are so correct. They don't relate with black people, and they want black people to just go ahead, sit down, hush, and just vote for who they want to. And yes, and the jab too. They separated my family with the jab. Remember, Trump said he going after all them people who was people who got fired for the COVID and this and that. We need to look at, they separated four. They separated with COVID because I wasn't able to see my grandmama for a year and a half because my so-called aunt was saying aunt and uncle said if we didn't get the jab, we couldn't come over. My grandmama, the time I seen my grandmama, it was over with, and she died the next couple of months after they released the separation, and we was able to see her, and she was able to get out my aunt's house. But other than that, they sit up here and told us to don't They told us to not be around our families because of the jab that they were giving out. Think about all these policies that came under the Democratic rule. That's why if you listen to Trump, a lot of people are mad, but why don't you listen to what Trump is saying, who he going after? I ain't heard Trump say nothing. I seen somebody cut up a video and say Trump said he want gang members and drug dealers to get life. Okay, black people, you already getting life. He was talking about the Venezuelan gangs and all them that's bringing in fentanyl and stuff. See, white people get mad when their children get affected by stuff. But I give Trump a break because he the only white man that I can find in Google pictures next to every black person. Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, your so-called old-fashioned political leaders, you ain't hear them say nothing. Trump called out Oprah and all these people. It's time for us black people to separate from certain black people. Black people who want to hold us back. Black people who don't live our reality no more. Yup, they also separated us with feminism. I'm sorry, I just stopped. They separated us with feminism too. Because they told, and that's what they wanted to do now. They talking about women's rights, and you got black people talking about, I'm finna go get an IUD. Oh, I gotta do this and that because of abortion. I said, if your asses would get back to where we had morals and keep your cootie cat with somebody that you think it deserves it instead of doing all this stuff, you wouldn't have to use abortion, AB, as they say, abortion as birth control. Abortion. Yeah, that's right. Trump said that Oprah and him was going to run. When Trump was going to run for president, Oprah was supposed to be his vice president. Did you know that? When Jesse Jackson ran for president, Trump backed Jesse Jackson financially. Did you know that? So how is Trump so racist? He lives in the white man's eyes, so he never going to have the black experience, but he's not making policies to just go after black people and punish black people. Biden the one said he ain't want his kids going to school in a jungle. Biden said all the derogatory remarks, but somehow Biden is just this loving man. Biden picked Kamala because he knew he wanted to win the presidential election. So when he was running, he picked a symbol, a symbolism black woman who lived white to run with him so he can get the election. Because at that time, when he was running, we was talking about how he was nothing but Crime Bill Joe, and so he had to offset that. But somehow we forget, and then who helps us forget? The same people who are sitting up here telling us to vote for Kamala, a person who was not here on America's soil, who lived in South India and came over here and benefited off the backs of the in the work that our grandparents, our real black grandparents, put in. Um, Mind Games Uncut. Follow him. He said he's gonna get on later and talk about get some information about Trump in January 6th. Thank y'all. Hit the like button, share. I was putting up here buying me a cup of coffee, but I'm gonna put it back. Um, I just wanted to say we need to get together and right now use the next 4 years. If we don't, we know the Democrats. I'm about to get off of this. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Hello. Okay. I need to check. I'm about to get off because I'm about to clean. I'm about to do what I do. I'm about to do what I do because I know what is affecting me. The immigrants didn't have to go through hurdles and get anything. Okay, he said I'm in the matrix. I'm about to get off. The immigrants didn't go through hurdles to get anything, but they make us go through hurdles. They make sure they vet us for anything to get a little bit of benefits. Every American in here should be getting food stamps, and housing assistance. We should be getting food stamps and housing assistance. We help build America. And you shouldn't be shamed for it. I'm tired of these people saying, don't do this, don't do that. But then they give us every excuse because these people had to leave their country. They need food and shelter. Because this person is Ukraine doing something. So they need billions of dollars. But yeah, you can't pour billions of dollars into your own communities, black communities, because they don't want you to have nothing, black people. It's time, yeah, hashtag UEOA. It's time that we start meeting and coming together, or who gonna be our next president that we want. If we want Cornel West, if we want any Jill Stein, if we want any of these people, we need to get together and start going towards that third party. We need to pull ourselves from the Republican and the Democrats. We gonna see what the Republicans do, because right now we done shook the ground. We done made them shake in their boots. They don't know what to think because they know that they cannot combat us with speeches and twerking to get our vote when our children are hungry and uneducated and locked up in prisons. We need something else. So we're not going to do this no more. My bad, baby. I'm coming. We not finna do this no more. Right now, we shook them up. So if the Democrats cannot give us real policies and help us, because see what the Democratic Party was going to do is do a switcheroo. They wasn't going to close the borders and did none of this stuff until we complained. They just sat back and gave us twerking like they always do. And listen to Fox. Look, you always follow your enemies. Listen to what they saying, the reason why they lost. They won't get into reality. They won't see that the reality is that we are tired of their lies and we're tired of being left behind. We're tired of their tricks. Everybody is struggling. They won't get it. But this time we need to make sure that I'm coming, baby. This time we need to make sure that we get together and we vote for policies that's for us. We need policies, and we need people who are going to run. If the Democrats, and the Democrat is over with, and if the Republicans see what we did to the Democrats, they're going to come a little bit better. If these two parties do not start representing black people, it's time for every black person to go to the third party. That's the conversations that we need to start talking about. What is going to be in the next 4 years? Who are we going to vote for? What are we going to do? Bump the Democrats, bump the Republicans. Where are we going to stand? What colors are we going to, what is the third party colors? See, we know red, we know blue. What's the third party color? We so behind on politics. It's time that we start paying attention, start looking at these government websites, start looking at policies that's passed, looking at who passed it. And this is going to open up the Republican eyes that right now Donald Trump ain't got no reason to run again. He can't run again. So we're not going to let the Republicans piggyback off of Donald Trump and think we just going to vote. The Democrats know there's something wrong, whether they fix it or not. That's right, mind games. Power is taken, not given. We took the power from the Democratic Party, and that's what this election was about. We took the party. So now where do we go from here? It's time for black people everywhere in these conversations. Do we go third party, or do the Democrats turn? What's the matter? I'm talking about they two figures. Yeah, I know. I got one in the trunk. And that bag was two fitteds. Yes, because I didn't know if both of them was the king. And then in the bag, I got the flats in the back, in the trunk. I gotta get out of here because I gotta go to work, and I'm getting ready to come, and I'll be back a little bit later. And then of course listen out for us, because the nation to be in the house, UEOA, we'll all be together and we're gonna finish discussing this. Okay? Shout out to all of you. And like I said, look at the replay. Where we're gonna go from here, black people, it's time for us to either go fully third party and leave both of them alone. Because right now Trump is filling the house. And I'm not knocking him, because if we was leaders, we're gonna kind of go with the people we know. He know black people, but he don't know a lot of black people, and a lot of black people that get in office, they just as corrupt as the white people we want out of office. They forget reality. These stars that they prance in front of us, telling us to vote, they're so mad, and all these celebrities talking about they moving out the country. Bye bye, because you don't get out here and you don't buy your own gas. You don't go to the store. You're not cooking. Y'all got chefs and stuff. They're not living their everyday life. Right now, I told y'all when we was on the other show, we are at the table where the tables are turning. Right now, it's black, poor whites, blacks, and everybody else against the rich, the upper class. The upper class want us to keep them up. No more. Your back ain't tired. Your knees ain't buckling. And your stomach ain't growling. It's time for us to do something else besides vote for the Democrats and the Republicans. It's time that we hit the Democrats with our sledgehammer. Now we're going to hit the Republicans if they don't do what we need to be done. It's time for us to pull out so they don't depend on their 1 hour votes, because I want you to know black is power. That's why they keep pandering to us. That's why they keep singing and dancing and twerking to us. No. It's time for us to get together, and because we want neighborhoods, stop making us look like we dumb and uneducated. We had neighborhoods, we had Black Wall Street, we had Rosewood. Let's go. How did we have those places? Because we do care about our kids. We're not just drug addicts and thugs sitting on the corner. That is a product of the Democratic Party when they took away our access to wealth and then threw things at us so that they can make us the criminals and drug addicts and the damn thugs that they call us to this day. It's time for us to take back our power, take back our families, take back our education, take back our standards. If you are a black woman and you worried about abortion, these people didn't care about your women's rights. They wanted you to abort your child. That ain't the right to abort. You should have the right to pick a nice a nice man, black man, preferably, to lay down with. All this twerking and all these videos and making you feel like, hey, I don't need no man, I don't need no woman. Look at the stuff they got us saying as black women and men. We need other things in our life. We don't even date no more. It's okay for you to just sleep around and don't care. Then all of a sudden you get pregnant, you have an unprotected sex, and you mad because you can't get an abortion instead of getting yourself together, getting a standard about yourself. That man that you like, he might be fine and nice, but that might not be the one you need to sleep with. That's right. It's time for black people to hit the reset button, family. That's our t-shirt slogan, and we saying it now verbally. We need to put our t-shirts. It's time for black people to hit the reset button. We need to reset our standards. We need to reset our minds, and we need to reset our party. I'll be back. Get on live with us tomorrow. We'll probably be on live tomorrow, about 6:30 Central Time, and the whole nation will be in, and we'll finish this discussion. Peace.